What's up, everybody? It's Josh coming at you from Nerd Adventures Tower. Oh man, we've got a juicy Marvel update video for you today. This has all the trappings of a classic YouTube video. Rumor, intrigue, controversy, and Chris Evans. That's right, Captain America himself is out there doing press for the Lightyear movie, and he was asked by Brandon Davis about his rumored return to the role of Captain America in the MCU.
I'm sure you're going to get this all day, but I hope you can do this all day. There's been rumors that there might be more Cap in your future. I personally think the story of returning the Infinity Stones could be a fun one.
That seems to be something people would like to see. I don't want to disappoint anybody, but I just don't know if, it's tough to, it was such a good run, and I am so happy with it, and, it's so precious to me. It would have to be perfect.
It's got to be scary to think about.
And that it just would be scary to, rattle something that is, again, so dear to me, and that role means so much to me. So to revisit it would be a tall order.
So that's pretty cool. But, after Andrew Garfield for Spider-Man No Way Home and all of his denials, of course, a lot of the stuff gets hit with skepticism. I thought this reply to this interview from Brandon was really interesting on Twitter. This is from Big Screen Leaks, who is pretty freaking reliable. And he says here, "It's okay, Chris. We already know." And he quote tweets the Deadline article, which came out in 2021, about how Captain America eyes return for the MCU as Chris Evans nears deal to reprise role in the future Marvel project. And just so everybody knows, because I know a lot of this is kind of confusing if you're not on the up and up of, like, what's a leaker, what's a scooper, what's an insider, what is a Hollywood trade. Deadline is a Hollywood trade. They're very, very reliable. And when this report came out, I mean, it's pretty wild, man. Recently, they've also, Justin Kroll himself and Deadline, got another scoop, which I'm doing a big video about. That's the Thunderbolts movie. And oh man, I can't wait to talk about that. But before we deep dive on where I think Chris Evans is going to show up, how he could come back to the MCU, I do want to talk about a little bit of controversy, because this being spread out there, and at the time of recording this, Chris Evans is actually trending based upon this interview and this question. So in the wake of that, there have been a lot of folks that are like, hey, what about Sam Wilson, Captain America? And I've even seen sort of a group of folks out there that are kind of frustrated that Sam Wilson being Captain America is not being acknowledged more by the MCU in general. And when they hear a story about Chris Evans coming back to play Captain America, they feel as though Sam will likely be sort of pushed off to the side, and they fear he won't be given his fair due as the Captain America of the MCU. I totally understand people being like, wondering like what's going on with Sam Wilson, Captain America, and wanting him to shine more. But basically in the comic books, Sam does become Captain America for some time, and then Sam does relinquish the shield back to Steve Rogers to try to get Steve Rogers to embrace winning back the public's love. And I believe this was after he had become a Hydra agent. So there's this whole event in Marvel Comics called Secret Empire, where Captain America is a Hydra agent and it literally almost takes over the entire world. And so after that event, after the real Steve Rogers actually stops that Steve Rogers and becomes good, there's this whole moment where Sam Wilson gives the shield back to Captain America and says, Steve, I know you'll win them back. Here you go. You got to be Captain America again, right? And now, later this year in Marvel Comics, I believe the shield is going back to Sam Wilson and he is becoming Captain America again. And basically, man, what I'm saying is it's just comics. A lot of this stuff gets rotated around, and I don't think it's like that deep. And Chris Evans coming back, to me, doesn't necessarily take any of the spotlight away from Anthony Mackie or this Sam Wilson Captain America. And in fact, I think one of the most interesting ways they could bring Chris Evans Captain America back would be to do what they did in Secret Empire. Having a Hydra version of Captain America played by Chris Evans would be such compelling stuff to watch Sam Wilson go through. I mean, Anthony Mackie's character idolized Steve, grew up with Steve, or didn't grow up with Steve, but like grew as a character with Steve, was gifted the shield by Steve. And just like many other folks out there, he absolutely loves Captain America. Him now being Captain America and having to fight against a Hydra version that looks exactly like that man, that mentor, that friend, that person that he has so much respect for would be incredibly compelling stuff. And even take it further, if this were to shake out similar to the way it does in comics, watching Chris Evans try to win back the public's love and try to continue to be a vision, or rather a symbol for hope after almost taking over the world, would also be incredibly compelling stuff. And unfortunately, I also think that Mackie as Captain America, while cool, is just not as compelling as Chris Evans in the role. And that's also kind of a comic book thing, as a lot of comic book fans, after Sam Wilson became Captain America, just simply kind of made the argument that, like, this dude is not nearly as compelling or interesting as Steve Rogers, and that is kind of a problem. And as Marvel does go down this road of adapting stuff from all new, all different Marvel, I do think they need to make changes from the way they approach it in the comic books as to how they approach it on the screen. But all of that being said, there's ultimately a way to have both of these dudes be Captain America. And you might be like, what? That's crazy. But think about it, guys. We're talking about the multiverse. We've literally watched the show with all kinds of different Lokis, and we literally just watched another awesome movie that had 3 different Spider-Men. So there's no reason that you can't have Sam Wilson Captain America hanging out with Chris Evans Captain America. And in fact, the perfect place and way to do this is in your Secret Wars movie, which again, we strongly feel Marvel Studios is building toward. And in fact, the moment I saw Chris Evans leave Avengers Endgame with Mjolnir and a suitcase full of Infinity Stones, I thought the next time we will see him will be on Battleworld. He will absolutely be showing up on Secret Wars or during the Secret Wars movie or series. And again, you're going to be able to see all of these characters interacting together. And I just strongly feel like that's where it's going to happen. And so Chris Evans coming back to the role of Captain America, circulating, making the rounds on the interwebs. Very good evidence to suggest that he is already signed to be coming back to the role or to the MCU in some way. A lot of precedents in the comic books for how this could work between him and Sam. Fun ways they could do it, but also a cool way you could have both these characters being Captain America in a Secret Wars type movie. Let me know your thoughts about all the stuff we went over in this video in the comments section below.